Hi everybody, let's talk about igneous rocks today. So igneous rocks have a history of melting. These are going to be rocks that have at one point been either magma or lava, but they melted completely and then they cooled and formed into new rocks. There are two types or two broad categories for igneous rock, and those are intrusive and extrusive. And an intrusive igneous rock is a rock that cools inside the earth, so it is magma that cools down. And an extrusive igneous rock is a rock that cools outside of the earth, so it is lava. All right, these are important because intrusive igneous rocks, being that they are inside the earth, are insulated by the ground around them, so they cool very slowly, and you get large mineral crystals inside. If they are extrusive, then they have cooled outside of the earth and they have cooled reasonably rapidly. And for that, we have then we have small to zero mineral crystals. So when we talk about igneous rocks, we talk about texture and color. What is the texture of the rock and what is the color of the rock? So let's start with the texture, and we've got four different types. We have coarse, fine, glassy, and vesicular. So we're going to go through and we're going to talk about those four types of texture right now. Now, a coarse texture, and I'll put this here so you see it. A coarse texture are large mineral grains that are easily visible with the naked eye. So everywhere you see a black spot, everywhere you see a white spot or a pink spot or a gray spot, those are individual mineral crystals in this rock. If I pull it up, I don't know if I can get it too much better, but those are all individual mineral crystals in there. Okay, so this is a coarse texture because they're all visible with the naked eye. If we do a fine texture, then a fine texture is small pieces, small mineral grains that you are not able to really see very well. So this is going to be a fine grain. They're there and you can kind of see them, but they're tiny. All right, this cooled pretty rapidly. And when I say rapidly, I'm talking about days, maybe weeks at most. This one is going to cool over decades or longer. But this one is going to cool reasonably quickly, all right? So that is fine grain. They're small. And glassy is going to look exactly like that. It's going to look like a piece of glass. All right, most of you guys should know what the black volcanic glass is. Again, I'm not going to tell you because we'll go through and do this as part of the test, but this is glassy. And one of the things that you get with glass is what is known as a conchoidal fracture. And I don't see any really good ones on here, except for maybe you can see this arcing to it. Okay, that is the conchoidal fracture. It's like the chips that you get in regular glass. And then the last one is vesicular. And vesicular, oh, I forgot to talk about cooling rate. Sorry, cooling rate on this one is minutes. Okay, minutes it takes for this to cool. And that's why you get this glassy look, because you don't have any mineral grains being able to form at all. All right, and the vesicular now. The vesicular is this spongy kind of a look. Here's a light colored one and a dark colored one, but this is spongy, frothy. The way I like to explain this one is that imagine if you had a Coke or a Pepsi and you poured it into a glass and you got that frothy head at the top of it. If you could harden that frothy head at the top, what is that made of? That's made of the Coke or the Pepsi, whatever the drink is, and little bubbles of carbon dioxide or gas. That's what this is. As the gas tries to exit the lava, the top of it is already hardened, So the gas works its way to the surface, can't go anywhere because the top is cooled, and it forms this kind of a spongy frothy. These are very, very, very lightweight. Okay, extremely lightweight. This one would probably float in water. It's so lightweight. All right. Okay. The other thing that we look at then is we look at color. So for our color, we have 3 different ones: mainly light, 50-50, and mainly dark. And yeah, it is kind of that easy. We can do with mainly dark, or mainly dark, or mainly dark. If you look at it, and it is mostly dark colored minerals, it is mainly dark. All right. The 50-50 is a little bit tougher. This one's a 50-50, and I'll put the little card there so you can tell. This one's a 50-50. About half of it is light colored material, and about half of it is dark colored material. So this is going to be the 50-50. Now, here's the little tricky part. Mainly light. Because I'm going to pull this out, and I'm going to show this to you, and you're going to kind of look at it and go, well, there's a lot of dark in there. And you'd be right, except if you look at this closely, this is made up of quartz, mica, hornblende, and feldspar. The feldspar is light colored. The quartz is clear. And because it's completely surrounded by other minerals, it looks darker than it really is. So anything on here that's kind of grayish is light colored. The mica is light colored. The only thing in here that's dark is the hornblende. Just the ones that are black. So all this gray is light and the black is dark. So this is actually a mainly light. Okay, this one's a little bit more tricky. So mainly light, 50-50, mainly dark. All right, time for a couple quick questions just to make sure that you watch. So when you get an igneous rock, what are the 2 things that you need to look at? These were the big categories we just went through. What are the 2 things you need to look at to determine or to try and figure out what type of igneous rock it is? So we'll pause and ask that question. Okay. All right. There were 4 types of textures. What type of texture is this? Okay. There were 3 different colors. Which color did I say this was? Okay. That's Igneous Rocks. See you guys later.